मखदूम साहब,
You don't want to respond to anything, Mr. Makhdoom?
ये दो क्वेश्चन से रिलेटेड यहाँ पे you see there's another fact, undisputed fact, that the constitutional body Election Commission, through an order dated 2nd of February 2024, declared all of them not as candidates of a political party but independents. Now that's an order of the Election Commission. They have declared them as independents and they were not left with any choice.
My Lord, the issue over here is that these persons who got elected and elected as independent members and were notified as that notification.
एक सेकंड my lord ने Justice Yahya Afridi और Justice Bandhu Khail दोनों ने कहा, and as earlier Justice Munib Saab ne, the determinant factor is the election nomination paper. But if there's an erroneous decision of the Election Commission not accepting those nomination papers and declaring all those members as independent, this entire controversy stems from that order, in which order they have grossly misinterpreted this court's judgment. Now, why should the people be prejudiced for something which the Election Commission did not perform with, speaking for myself, its duty in accordance with the Constitution?
My Lord,
मखदूम साहब देख लीजिए कि क्या किसी कैंडिडेट ने नॉमिनेशन फॉर्म जमा करवाने के बाद ये कहा है कि मैं अपनी एफिलिएशन से विड्रॉ कर रहा हूँ?
Yes, my Lord, those were the two forms I was pointing out which have been filed by the Election Commission.
But that was after the acceptance of the nomination papers.
My Lord, the papers are accepted because, may I just show to your Lordship the form?
And we have the total number of candidates that we're talking about. You're referring to only two people.
My Lord, I am going by the record of the Election Commission.
So the total number, because to my mind, the question really is that on 4th of March, the ECP itself goes ahead, announces a result saying that you're independent. And how do they come up with that? Because before we get into Article 51 and all, the question would be this starting point: how are they declared independent?
My Lord,
I think this will be evident from Form 33, which was the initial stage.
My Lord,
finally,
yes,
but
if your Lordship may see, may I take your Lordship to an actual Form 33, and thereafter, if your Lordship looks at page 166 of Part 2 of CMA 5840. Page 166. Your Lordship will see page 184 is the ticket of the party. Page 184. Part 2, my Lord. Part 2 CMA.
This is not a general election.
CMA 5840, Part 2.
166 page
166 से शुरू होता है डॉक्यूमेंट, पेज 184 पर.
नहीं आप, I'm sorry, किस पेज से शुरू कर रहे हैं?
My Lord, page 166.
नहीं, but page 166 तो बाय इलेक्शन है, तो ये जनरल इलेक्शन है ही नहीं. ये तो इसकी कोई रेलेवेंस ही नहीं है.
No, this is this page.
Part 2, by election.
Is your Lordship looking at CMA 5840, Part 2?
168 is the relevant page.
166. My apologies.
I belong to, it says.
Yes. If your Lordship may also see page 184 then.
Makhdoom Saab,
may I just, my Lord, with your Lordship's permission?
Why were they compelled to apply for the symbol of PTIN?
I don't know, my Lord.
No, everyone knows why. Makhdoom Saab, these are bitter realities known to everyone. That what was happening.
My Lord, I will go by the pleadings, just as some of the council yesterday went by the pleadings and said.
Sorry, please. If I may,
my Lord, yes.
See, the way I look at it is that this question really doesn't even need to go to Article 63A, remaining even within the framework of the paragraph itself. And again, I'll take your example because of on the undisputed seats. So suppose you have, PMLN has whatever number of returned candidates, as I say, on the basis of the nomination forms. And let's say People Party parliamentarian has whatever number they have, right? Within the framework of paragraph D, suppose 15 of the PMLN returned candidates make a declaration before the election commission that now, no, we have given up PMLN, we will now regard us as returned candidates for People Party. That would obviously upset the equation on the reserved seats. Had that happened, hypothetical, if that hypothetical were to happen, would not PMLN raise an objection? How can they do this? Or vice versa. So even if we put, because 63A comes later, right? Once the House is there and parliamentary party is there. Even within the framework, how can one candidate who has, as my learned colleague Justice Mandukhail has said, who has filed his nomination on a declaration, how can he of his own bad is a bit of his own volition just merrily walk into the election commission and say, well, for purposes of this paragraph, count me there. And if that cannot happen, how can the election commission itself do it? What power? Where does the power come from?
My Lord, may I show from the two forms which they have filed? I was showing to your Lordship.
Mr. Mahdoom Ali Khan, I think there's a fundamental question which I don't know why all this discussion is taking place. I'm hearing the case as pleaded before me. Why they should have not pleaded another case, I don't know. There is Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf is not a party before us. Not a single one of the elected candidates are a party before us. Whether the Election Commission of Pakistan was erroneous or correct, the fact is that they challenged virtually everything in Pakistan. Why was that decision not challenged? We must not set up different cases from the ones that have been pleaded. The party before us is the Sunni Ittihad Council. I shouldn't do it, but since it's being said and it has been widely televised, the earlier case that was heard, this had been even observed from this bench by myself. If somebody bothers to go and check the record, it will be somewhere in the ether, you can see it. That is not the case before us. The case before us is of Sunni Ittihad Council saying that give me reserved seats and give me non-Muslim seats. There is no PTI before us saying give me these seats. There is no candidate before us which is saying there's only candidate who's a potential candidate, which doesn't even come in the feature. She is not an elected person. So why are we having this debate? This is not the case before us. I mean, if PTI felt that way, they've elected to cast all their eggs with the Sunni Ittihad Council. They have elected to sail with them. How can we say, no, we'll take you out and we'll give you something which you have not even asked, or you're not bothered to come, nor have you challenged? Fine, Election Commission makes good decisions. Election Commission may also make bad decisions. There's a whole legal process. Now, if we cannot observe without anyone challenging something that certain decision is bad of the Election Commission, and if it was bad, come forward and challenge it. Now, I don't know why we're having this discussion when there is no PTI, none of the elected candidates who were previously in the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Istiqlal before us. This question, and it's not suddenly come up, this petition has been everybody knows about this petition. So I don't see why are we having this debate. If they were before us, this was an issue, they didn't go to the Peshawar High Court, they didn't do anything. And the only person who's aggrieved before us is the Sunni Ittihad Council saying, these are my candidates. Now we have to either accept their contention or reject their contention and uphold the judgment of the High Court. As simple as that. Now, why didn't they do this, whether there was pressure, whether there was no pressure. I will not go on any premise or conjecture. I go on facts as demonstrated by documents. If there are facts as demonstrated by documents, please argue it. The whole world may know about something. That's not the way judges operate. Judges operate by what comes before them in a pleading. That's how they operate. Otherwise, you'll say, he committed murder. I know it. No, we'll see the evidence that comes before the court of law. That will be the determining factor. So why are we having this? Because I don't hear an answer from you. And why are we going into this conjectural thing, if this may have happened, or if this... They've chosen that. That's what I was from day one concerned. Why is PTI not coming forward? They've chosen not to. They think they've got... They think... I don't know, whatever. I don't want to speculate what they think.
My Lord, may I...
Makhdoom,
no, can you respond?
My Lord,
just add to that question. So why we're having this debate is because it is not relevant what parties before us. As the Apex Court, don't you think it's our responsibility to protect the rights of the electorate? There are millions of people who voted, so the right to vote is sacrosanct, and that has to be protected.
Then I would
say the right of vote, I haven't finished yet.
Okay.
So the right of vote has to be looked into. If the right of vote has been deprived from a particular political party, it is for the Apex Court to look into it. So it's a very basic question that people voted for some candidates who submitted their nomination papers as PTI affiliates. How did the Election Commission come up and say you're independent? That is the starting point of the debate. Because millions of voters out there voted for these people, and as an Apex Court, don't you think we need to look at their interest and their right to vote? I mean, how was that right taken away and a person declared to be independent by ECP when ECP had no such power? And then all the things start from there. Then you get into the SIC and whatever. But the question is, how were they declared independent when they never opted out of that affiliation with the PTI?
Hi, Mr. Makhdoom Ali Khan. Today I was reminded of the oath which I gave to 3 judges. Nowhere it says, it simply says, abide by the Constitution and the law. And that's what I'm doing. And that's what my legal constitutional duty is. There are many concerns in society. Who addresses those? I don't know. That's not my concern. My concern is to simply follow the Constitution and the law.
Lord,
where is the electorate mentioned in the oath?